Hello, lovely people. Happy Monday. So I want to talk about the true crime genre, and in particular, the true crime genre on YouTube and how it has just spiraled out of control on this platform. We've seen the rise in tragedy pimps, right? These people who want to exploit victims and their families for views and for money. And listen, sensationalism and crime is nothing new. We've seen it for years in the mainstream media. I mean, just go to Investigate Discovery, look at some of the titles of their shows and how those shows are presented, and you'll see what I'm talking about, right? For ratings, for money. But it's so sad to me because I think people forget that this is not entertainment, right? This happened to real people. And to present things in such a way where, like, this is just entertainment, let me see how I can sensationalize this. You're re-traumatizing victims and their families, okay? And it's disgusting. The most recent example is this lady who decided that, I have these autopsy pictures of this child. I'm going to put up a paywall, but if you want to see them, just pay me and I'll show them to you. That is so vile and disgusting. Then you have AD, of course, who, re-victimized Frankie and his family for years. You have Molly Golightly, who has no qualms about trying to insert herself into ongoing investigations. All for views and for money. Okay, it's not because these people have a legitimate heart for crime victims' families, right? That's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're driven by ego and by greed. And YouTube does nothing. I mean, they have terms of service. Do they ever enforce them? I really want to know. Somebody please tell me, does YouTube ever enforce their terms of service? And I get it. Freedom of speech, freedom of speech. But what about human decency? But again, you see this in mainstream media. I mean, I think of Netflix, Making of a Murderer, right? You watch that documentary, you come away thinking, Stephen Avery, oh my God, he's an innocent man. Then you start doing your research, right? You really look into the facts, and you go, no, he's probably where he needs to be, right? Or if you look at most documentaries on Ted Bundy, guess who the focus is? Bundy, not the victims. Can you name me one of Ted Bundy's victims? That's also a problem. The victims get lost in all of this. I mean, just look at AD's content. Chris Watts. What about Shanann? What about those babies? Those are the ones that matter. And then you have people on this platform who want to victim blame, right? They want to somehow imply that the victim deserved it in some way. They must have done something, right? And just think for a moment how detrimental that is and how much damage they're doing. But that's okay. Because it's, views, profit. It's entertainment, man. This is cool. I love it. It's just so, oh my God, it's so fascinating. Gosh, tell me more. You have creators pointing the finger at innocent people. We saw it with the University of Idaho case, right? People running with the narrative that, I can't remember the guy's name, but one of the girl's boyfriend was a murderer. Had absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, I do want to say this. I do think sometimes, right, social media and true crime genre on YouTube and these podcasts can do some good, right? They can shine a light on the injustices that sometimes go on within our court system. They can bring awareness to missing persons cases. These are good things. They can be a support system for families who are hurting. But sometimes all the bad that is done negates that, right? Because they can also bully and harass families. We saw it in the Delphi case with the sister of, was it Libby? Right? That family got bullied and harassed. We saw it with Frankie and his family. constantly getting bullied and harassed and re-victimized, because they are victims, guys. Re-traumatizing these people. For what? Because it makes a good story, because, hey, I need some money. Hey, I need my ego stroked. I need to hear how good I am, how wonderful I am. And this is okay somehow? It's disturbing. But anyway, there's a lot more I could say about this. And perhaps I will. But could you guys believe I'm still struggling with the stomach pain? It never goes away. It's the pain that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. Anyway. I always do these pauses, right? I pause to think. I remember we did an interview one time with this author on one of my podcasts, and she was a very thoughtful woman, and she would take a moment, so we'd ask her a question, and she would just pause. And it was a bit awkward, because you're doing a podcast, so we're just kind of waiting. But she was thinking, right? She was processing her thoughts. And I know for myself, I do much better when I write than when I talk, because my mind goes like a million miles an hour, and I'm very random. So it's always been easier for me to put my thoughts down on paper. But at any rate, sensationalizing crime is wrong. I think that we need to learn how to distinguish between, to understand that crime is not entertainment, okay? It's not for your own personal amusement and enjoyment. That this is affecting real people's lives. And we need to stop re-traumatizing people. It's scary. It's just, imagine if it was your family, right? If it was your loved one, and some idiot online was releasing autopsy photos behind a freaking paywall. Or some idiot online was accusing your daughter of being a murderer. Oh, I see a ponytail. Don't y'all see it? Do you see it? Do you see the ponytail? I'm pretty sure I see a ponytail. And anybody who's not familiar with AD is like, what is this woman talking about? What is she on? God. Anyway, until next time, y'all, be well.